dearest possession is life. It is given to us to live, but only once. And we must so live as not to be besmeared with a shame of a cowardly existence or a trivial past, living a life purposelessly. But you live in such a way that toward the end of your life, if you could say, you say that all my life and strength were given to the finest causes of humankind. That is his liberation, okay? For me, that is a very eloquent testimony to a great person. Alan Cole's story is one such story. Because why should he have bothered?
Nana Cole was, to me, a very inspiring person. He's somebody who I think all of us should learn from.
He was very strict and cordial and very helpful.
I knew him to always fight a good fight. A lot of times he was unpopular because of speaking the truth.
He was very innovative. He was somebody who was visionary. He was somebody who had the welfare of the people at heart.
I got to know Nana Cole when he came to Ghana, and I was at Kumawu Secondary School for the first time. That was 1961. He was our geography master.
I grew up to understand he met and made friends whilst in university, Ghanaian friends. And after a relationship at the university, decided to visit Ghana. In fact, his visit turned to living in Ghana. In 1960, he joined the Ghana Education Service as a teacher at Kumawu Secondary School.
When I went to the school myself as a student, Form 1, he was already a legend. Many people were talking about how the school was a good school because of what he had done in the school, the standards, the discipline, the drive to learn. All of that came from him.
Some of the deeds that he had performed for this school, which had been very young school at that time, was still deodorant. You could still smell the effect of his work based upon the stories told by seniors who had seen him, because he was part of the pioneer administrators of the school.
He had a Morris. As soon as the Morris appears, everybody tries to find a hidden place. You see, that was his mark.
He was a disciplinarian who insisted on doing things right. He will never compromise when it comes to principles. See, he will always hold on to his principles and make sure that things are done the right way.
That was his trademark, strictness, and sees to it that you learn.
He was somebody who was very straightforward, who was always prepared to see to progress and development of the human being, whether you are close to him or not. He was very strict.
Because of his strictness, there was a sort of a coup.
I believe that he was trying as hard as he could to advance the education of the institute, or the educating of the kids of the institute. But then, naturally, kids could just be incited sometimes from within the masters. Sometimes you have always in every human society, there's this Machiavellian attitude that I win, you lose, that sort of thing.
He was a strict disciplinarian. So if you are not disciplined, we cannot work with you.
With the teachers, if you don't attend class, you will make sure the days that you did not attend class without permission, your money is deducted and paid to government chest. And so You see, if he is going about his duties this way, there may be some people who will never like you because you want things to be done right.
I think he had come for a higher cause, so he could not be imprisoned by the bitterness of people who were perhaps being very parochial or showing only their self-interest. Okay.
He was an educationist, and I remember he was very deeply involved in the issue of Ghana National Association of Teachers, and he was one of the pioneers who brought the association into being. And when he was not even a member, the people who were in the helm of affairs used to come to him to come and ask for information that they needed to run the association.
It is part of the story that we must tell. And Alan Cole is an essential strand in the fabric of the school story. Why? Because he was there at the beginning.
I remember there was one attempted student demonstration at Kumawu Secondary School. So the next Sunday, he put on a traditional cloth called shiwanshi, which means that something like literally translated, we cannot be bent.
You see, he will explain to you the reason behind what he is doing. So you can go to him and tell him whatever you want him to hear, but he will tell you, I am doing this because this is what the rules and the regulations say. It never affected his work. He was never disturbed. He was never discouraged. He was all the time going about his normal duties and insisting that things should be done right by students, by staff, by everybody who is supposed to be here.
If you have no strategy, I grow. The sister Penny, friend, I do admire. You are dear between him for free. No, didn't come, I say. Then Pedro, you know, Fanunco, Kumati. And she feels I'm in Adam for. Or so, Oko, you can Inca. You know, you Chinese so sad, but you call you Abaha, Baba Chachepa and Tana, and you power cook.
As a British, or naturalized as a Ghanaian. No, sir, naturalized as Ankasi again a royal family, or Bajonia Busian. Timmy say, no, a meofa.
He became part and parcel of Nana Nipenka. You see, Nana Nipenka called Nana Cole, which is Alan Cole, the son. So he was related by adoption to Nana Nipenka and Ohima. Today's Ohima, Nana Sewa Ponsa.
My early recollections of my dad was a man who loved what he did. So when he was warmly accepted into the royal family, into the community, into the town, it was his determination to do the best he could for the town.
He found our culture very interesting. That's why he stayed longer in Kumawu and didn't want to move to England. He was very deep in the culture, working only for Kumawu.
He quickly got involved with the traditional council. And I am sure I can positively say he was very interested in the culture of the town too. And with such interest, nothing could really stop him from becoming part of the town.
Obaye no boy near my baby home. I am gratasem, no boy who Janun and Kumohi, our young baby could buy my smelly. ɔde tu kumama anim sɛ ɔpɛ sɛ ɔhyɛ n'animonyam na ɔma no he kumama mpanimfoɔ nyinaa so de tu mu na ɛyɛ no dumankwae he.
He was very good at customs. And once Nana Asmedo made him the chief of Dumakwai, he became more interested in our culture. And he was very good at putting on the cloth, you see. So many people even learn to put on their cloth from Nana Bedia Kufrao.
If I would tell me, say Kumawu history, pa, tell me Kumawu history, no, tell me Kumawu lands, true lands, you know, boundaries. Kura, you know, share boundaries in Kasa. Into several very much research. When you never go, or some, you know, in the private secretary.
When Nana Asmedu awarded him the Dumakwai stool, he took the name Nana Osei Bediako Firao. And you know Firao is the boundary of Kumawu. You see, the Volta, we call it Firao.
His job included, with the stool lands custodian, dividing up land when people want to buy land, and also representing Kumawu during litigation. And there were many, many situations where Kumawu was sent to court because Kumawu has so much land.
A friend is saying, "Monsoon, yeah, and crata properly to normal in order." A man, woman, when you change as a monsoon in a true and a coney deep him. Finally, Kurano. Monsoon can see a pie, sorry, between Kumawu and Kwamai. I just say a very tough, a year, din. And a coney D who Jumajina court at the come defending Kumawu. Yeah, the next papers, yeah, everything. He's more than a lawyer because he knows his left and right.
In Krata, baby, here, crying you do. Obama a call I can't see you calling back. Compare Sankrata in Adibai.
Yakuyan man, Sano. A man is trans. A share Kumawu boundaries in another room. And I must say, no, Kumawu himself, Oko Easter, any crew in a bush here. Oko Norfa, any crew in a Oko South, Oko Wester. On the shed that yes, Sankrata, Jesse Crano. So Oko demo, we fast any normal baby in some control.
During his time as the Dumakwai Hene, he took it upon himself to get all the paperwork together in one place so that he could really understand the land of Kumawu. So he went into National Archives, he picked up various pronouncements from the English colonial rulers, from Supreme Court judgments, and that's how he accumulated a lot of his information. And of course, he's on the ground, so he could hear the customary law and the things that the chiefs and sub-chiefs and things, what they all say. And so that's how he acquired his information, just dedication, hard work, going through the paperwork, the judgments, etc.
Whatever he got involved in, he worked at with great passion.
I remember very well when we had wanted to get our own district away from that of CTED East. I think he provided a lot of information by that time to the late Berima Esumadu Sechi. And we went to Kumasi to meet the then Minister for Local Government, Honorable Ifa Nkrabia Dete. He was the chairman of the committee that went around to do the assessment whether the petition that had been sent will have to be granted the desire of having our district. And we went there with him, and he provided all the information we needed to make our case at the Regional Coordinating Council. And I think it was based on that gradually in 2008 we were granted the status of a district.
He really cared about this community. and did a lot for the community. I think the reason why the community is still intact in terms of its land boundaries is in part because of his hard work.
In fact, he helped me a lot with the processes for me to be able to assess finances and even development to my electoral area at Tapebiachile, where he stayed. Now, he gave me a document on the social responsibility contract with timber contractors who come here. And through that, we were able to assess funds for development in the area. So Nana was somebody who was all around. He knew everything about anything.
At CTED, we spent a lot of time trying to map out the community. We needed documents, old documents from, the 1700s. The British were in charge of this area. There was Captain Fuller, whose pronouncements demarcated the boundaries of Kumawu. And so we needed a lot of those original documents, and we also needed the interpretation of those documents. And of course, Nana Cole is number one. He knows those documents better than anybody else, maybe in the world, when it comes to the Kumawu land and Kumawu area.
As a research institute, we needed to learn and utilize the knowledge of indigenous people. And Nana Cole was one of the people in the area that has immense experience from managing the KTA lands.
So he, first and foremost, told us about the documents we should be getting. He gave us photocopies of those documents. And then after you've been reading those documents, you need the interpretations of these things. What does this statement mean? What is this tribe? What does this judgment mean? So he provided explanations for all of that.
Basically, Nana Cole's contribution has helped CTED to obtain concrete evidence of Kumawu traditional area boundaries. We also obtained explanation to some of these cases and also some of the maps that he handed over to us. And based on this, we've been able to build and create a web map system. Currently, we have over 6,000 geographic features that we have captured onto our web map system.
Based on his knowledge, I believe he has really helped Kumawu over the years. Don't forget that it is through his knowledge that Kumawu has still to this day been able to protect its land. There are many, many people who have been trying to encroach on Kumawu's land, chiefs in neighboring areas, and this has gone to court many, many, many times. And because of his insights, because of his knowledge, Kumawu has, for the most part, not always, but almost 100% of the cases, Kumawu has won. It's a great loss. Anytime you lose a man who is so funny, so witty, so caring, it's a great loss. He had an extreme amount of the history of this place, of this community in his head. Not all of it was written. I think he was about to write a book. I'm not sure how far he went on it. So the loss is in the finer details of the history of this place. We all live by our stories and our histories. And so telling his story is good for everybody, and definitely the young. Here is somebody who lived a very, very great life. He did a lot for the community. And I think it's important that we honor people like that, so that when others face these kind of challenges, they should understand that we in the community appreciate it when others sacrifice themselves for us. Kumawu itself, as you all know, the story of Trimbo Kodia is based on sacrifice.
Somebody who, in the traditional belief system, felt that by offering himself as a sacrifice, a human sacrifice, in the cause of Ashanti, the Ashantis will be victorious. Hence, Trimbo Kodia, that's how the Kumawu people are have a very important place in Ashanti history. The lesson from such an individual is part of the reason why I'm emotionally attached to education in general and attached to this school. Anything that the good Lord gives me the resources to contribute a little bit, like Professor Janko has led the way to we are doing, okay? We should bother because we are human. We should bother because we are not all equally placed in positions to have opportunity. But whatever resource you have in terms of talent, it could be money, it could be education, enlightenment you have, you can brighten that corner so that others can benefit. Otherwise, what is the purpose in living? To eat, to drink, to wear clothes and die? No. It is being able to make yourself available to society. It's the reason why people sometimes are encouraged to go and put their lives at risk for the greater good of the many.
So we honor him so that people understand that sacrifice will be honored, that we will remember you after you've sacrificed. And I think that's extremely important. It makes us all better people. And so that's why we're honoring him today.